if anybody's interested in being on the recycling committee, just kidding. You know where to say, yeah, see Kervin, please. So in other news, I'm going to be having a community meeting on March 4th. It's held at the Emily Olson Civic Center from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. One of the things that I've heard loud and clear from everybody in my district and throughout the city is related to our roads, sidewalks, and sort of timely that she mentioned our roads being used as thoroughfares. I did spend some time today, or I'm sorry, I did spend some time this past week with Mr. Donovan and Mr. McCon, and we are going to meet again after this meeting. So I know that I have talked to many people in the district about their roads and speed humps and sidewalks and such, and I am going to take all of the information that I gather at that meeting related to neighborhoods, et cetera, and bring it back so that when we do meet, we can begin that conversation. So if you cannot attend, please feel free to email me at the city, and I will make sure I take your information. Just put roads or something in the subject line, and I'll know I can just create a little pile for it. I wanted to make sure I thanked BSO because I did notice that I have heard from residents that we have had increased patrols and presence in the district, specifically again on 14th Street, which has been a hot spot for us, so I wanted to say thank you to them. I also wanted to say thank you to Lee Gottlieb, who's part of the Adopt-A-Dune program, and Max, I know that you have been working, if you're still here, I know that you have been working hard with Lee to work on some beach dunes ordinances that will help us as we grow as a city protect our coastline, and Lee does a very good job of doing that as well. So like I said, I wanted to start with some of the really positive things. I do have a couple of statements and questions. I would like for everybody to understand that my main goal here as a new commissioner is to gain a better understanding of how all of this works. And I need to understand what these contracts, or I need to review the information that I ask for in order to be able to do that job effectively. There's no better way to learn a new business or a new role than trial by fire. I am consuming a lot of information, but that's my job, is to be informed, so when you come and ask me a question, I can give you an answer. If I don't know, I will do the research and I will look it up. I am just like you in terms of I get absolutely hot and under the collar sometimes, and when it's long days and long nights of reading computer screens and contracts and going line by line, I take that job very seriously to represent not just District 1, but the city as a whole. So I do hear you. I am listening. Since the CRA meeting, and I will be somewhat brief with this, but this is important to me. McNab House and Gardens, McNab Park, that is in my district, and it is something that we are very actively talking about spending a lot of money on, and we have done so. I was told at a meeting on January 7th that I had, and I've said this before, so I'm going to say it again, that we have spent $6.1 million, and then I was quickly backtracked, and I was told that we would get a better number for me. Great. The number I was given by Ms. Sarah Mulder was 2.1. I was publicly chided about spreading misinformation at the public meeting on January 22nd, and I will tell you that I am not fully through the information I have requested because I have not received all of the information I requested as related to McNab House. On January 30th at 4:03 p.m., I sent my first request for information. I set a deadline of February 5th, figured I would try to give some people some time, but I wanted to make sure I went through this information. I did not receive all of the information by then, much less very little at best. February 6th, 9 a.m. and 5:46 were 2 additional emails asking for information. I did receive some information in the interim. February 10th, 4:31, setting a new, because I set the new deadline for February 10th. And then February 11th, some back and forth. And February 13th, when I still did not have all of the information I needed, I sent yet another email to the city manager. And like I said, I'm very happy to be respectful and give everybody the opportunity to reply when they have time. But on February 13th, after the cancellation was announced of the CRA meeting, which is where this would have otherwise occurred, this conversation, I sent a fairly lengthy email asking specifically for some items. One, to know that ahead of everybody else that the meetings would be canceled, just because I found out about it the same time everybody else did. And I think that that's a little bit unfair. McNab House and McNab Park and the Botanical Gardens, the city doubled down with a $2.1 million number of total expenditures. And I have some questions related to that. So I would like to, oh, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. As part of this email, when I was doing this homework of going through the contracts, my meeting again was January 7th. On January 8th, I see there are 2 more signed contracts related to McNab Park. One is for a consulting agreement related to discussing Mad Room Hospitality and discussing and with Sterling Hospitality. And the second is related to the interior demolition of the McNab House and the garage. I find that troubling because the public had not yet even heard about the project, and I, when asked, did not agree or say it would have my blessing until after the public meeting. So, day after, contract signed to the tune of just under $50,000. So in this long email, I also requested to the city manager, and I asked that until I had the rest of the information provided to me and had the opportunity to go over it, I asked for no work to occur on the McNab House. Today is February 25th. I have not yet received any response from Mr. Harrison, Mr. Tran, Ms. Smolder, Ms. McKenna. I will say the only person I actually heard from was Mr. Alfred, who did provide me documents I did ask for and was very communicative in doing so. And I was very disheartened also to go drive by McNab House not once but twice and see that there was work indeed being performed by that company. The interior demolition did in fact take place. So I'm not done going through the documents, but I am concerned that I didn't even have the courtesy of a response from anybody. I would like to ask, the architects and engineers, are those listed as part of the budget that I was given, Mr. Harrison, since you are the executive director for the CRA? Are those architects and engineers that we hire, are those part of this $2.1 million budget? Overall total?
Commissioner Fessick,
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, that's a problem.
I do not know exactly what you're talking about. There are thousands of items in your request, thousands.
Okay.
And we would need to sit down with you. You put them on a conference table with us, with staff, and we will get your questions answered, every single bit from A to Z.
Okay. My 5th paragraph, it said, "It has come to my attention that on January 8th, a contract was signed in regards to the McNab House project a few weeks before the public design presentation to demolish the interior of both the McNab House and the garage space with a cost of approximately $50,000. So I respectfully request that any of that or other contracted work on the McNab property not occur until after we discuss this issue at our next CRA meeting. Please understand I'm requesting a full stop on all physical work to be performed on location effective immediately until after our next meeting." I understand that I may not be able to authorize that, but I can ask you to. And so I didn't get a response from you on any of that. I'm not asking for a lot of information here, but I'm asking for basic knowledge of what we're doing and basic information. So the other thing I did ask, which is, I think, appropriate, was for a series of weekly updates from you, delivered each Thursday by 5 p.m. on several fronts. One, that's a really long one. I'll provide that later. I'm going to jump back to this. You're right. I don't need to get all that in there. But my point being is that I did get a file dump, and I did not get all the information I asked for, and I will go through and I will line item that for you and explain exactly what I'm missing. But what I did get, and I had to go a different route because what I got from you was a file dump, and I have gone through thousands upon thousands of emails and email threads, and I have a lot of information in there, which I'm happy to share at a later date. But I did get some from our auditor. I just asked for 4 vendors. Oh, sorry, 5. I asked for 5 vendors. So I asked for a handful of them. So Bermello, Agile and Partners Incorporated, it says that we have paid out already $716,163.64. Modern House Builders and Movers Incorporated, we paid $800,223.69. Innovative Roofing, that's only for one of the roofs, by the way, $70,431. Cutting Edge Industries, $48,665. Total for the 4 vendors, just for the McNab House project, $1,635,483.33. But that's not all. Shift Construction and Development, $130,000, $67.66. BRV Corporation, $141,000. So it says total for the larger ones plus 4 vendors is $1.9 million and change. My point being is that this is not even the bulk of the work, guys. And so it appears, it says the total for all vendors is 2.231, 225.12. So these are not, our accounting so far as far as I can see it, in everywhere I look, and this is what's really disturbing to me and angers me as an elected official and having to be able to be responsible for your tax dollars and vote on things, that this accounting is clear as mud. I mean, and accountability, there seems like there's no rhyme or reason. I ask for budgets and I get spreadsheets, and they all don't make any sense. And I'm not a big financial person, but I know how that A plus B equals C, and I know how to balance my checkbook enough to know that this does not make sense. So I have a lot more questions, and things are not adding up. I will report back later, but I would respectfully ask that we clean this up, and I would really, really love to see more technology applied to the city of Pompano Beach. We don't even have Salesforce. I mean, Salesforce is pretty much as a standard, and I would like to see that, because then we won't have to have Mr. Alfred or his team spend 18 hours plus just pulling a request for information. It should be a lot easier than that and a lot faster. That's all I have for right now. I wanted to say thank you to everybody for putting up with me as I'm learning, but I have a lot of questions, and we are not done here, y'all. Thank you.